I am doing all right.
Why are you laughing?
Oh, it's just been a long weekend, just getting everything situated, but it's all good.
Are you ready for the weekend? You get to relax some?
Yeah.
Awesome. So, yeah, like I said, please feel free to interrupt me if you can't see or hear me because we're recording this. I want to make sure other people can hear it too.
Okay.
So this morning I was thinking about the day, just kind of visualizing how the day is going to go, and I've got a lot going on. And I've got a lot of being around other people. And this one group of people in particular that I'm going to be around, they're friends, but I don't know like to what extent our friendship is. And I find myself, I woke up this morning thinking, okay, Erica, you're just going to have patience with them. They're a little bit rowdy. They kind of say things that they don't really think about first. And another thing that kind of bothers me about it, and this is, I know it's my problem, but they're always the type of people that well, you ask them how they are, but they never return. They never seem interested in what I'm doing, and that's frustrating for me because I feel like true friends are interested. It's a mutually, interesting relationship, I guess, so that's not the right word, but mutually interested. They genuinely want to know what I'm doing. So I woke up this morning thinking about patience and how I have to have patience. But really, when I look at patience or think about patience, I think about waiting in line, having patience for something to happen. And truly, that's not what's happening. So I started thinking about it a little bit more, and I broke it into two separate pieces. One is having compassion for them, having compassion for just maybe they're just genuinely not interested in what I'm doing, and that's okay. Or maybe they're just not aware that I'm actually doing something. Either way, you just have compassion for that. And the other thing is to release the ego. Of all this, me upset that they never ask me what I'm doing. How many times can I use the word me in a sentence? So at the same time, I really need to release my ego about this. And it's a little bit selfish. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to work on that. So what I'm going to do with this practice is, for me personally, and I'm saying this because I think we should all, anytime you sit down to just do a yoga flow, just have one thing you're going to focus on. Just like we've been talking about in meditation, have that one thing you're going to focus on. For me, it's going to be about deep breathing and exuding compassion and releasing ego this morning. And so with that being said, go ahead and lay on your back and bring your knees to your chest. And as you do this, you can moan. I'm just old, so I moan. I want you just to kind of sway back and forth and maybe take a few breaths, just recognizing it, but also just thinking about an intention. What is something you want to focus on today? Maybe it's clarity. Maybe it is compassion or patience. Maybe it's just something simple like love. Maybe it's giving love to maybe somebody that it's hard to give love to, if that makes sense. And then just start to take the knees in a circle. And a lot of times if I do my flows at home by myself and say my intention is to really focus on love and exuding love to the world, I'll do a lot of heart openers and back bends. And take it to the other direction. And then just begin to let the feet settle down to the mat. Extend the left leg long. Draw the right knee into the right chest or the right shoulder. And stay here. And now begin to take the breaths a little bit longer. So maybe inhale for a count of 4. Exhale for 6. Feeling the belly rise and fall. Start to become aware of your presence on the mat. Inhale, find one little bit of length with the left leg or the straight leg. And exhale, switch sides. Don't take today's practice too seriously. If there is something, a pose that you're not comfortable with, just stop and keep breathing because we'll end up going over all these poses throughout the retreat. Focusing on the breath. Inhale, find some length in the straight leg. And exhale, I want you to take both legs out to the side or straight. Maybe they come a little higher. Feel the core start to heat up. Press the abs into the mat. You can bend the knees if you like. 2 breaths here. Then bend the knees up to the chest and over to the right side for a spinal rotation. Taking your arms into Filbo arms. Try to keep the left shoulder on the mat. If you have a tight chest, Filbo arms is always a great option throughout any flow that you do. And then using the core, just gently lift the knees back up. Feel the back, press onto the mat, and neutralize it, let it naturally lift up as you take the knees to the other side for 5 breaths or so. And as always, remember, if there's something you don't want to do, don't do it. Listen to your body, honor your body. And again, engaging the core, lift the knees up. Ooh, straighten the legs out. And just really reach opposite directions. Bring the knees back into the chest. Just rock and roll a few times, up and down. You can use momentum here. Last time, you're just going to come up and cross your legs. Coming into a comfortable seated position. We're not going to stay here long though. You're going to take your hands flat on the mat in front of you. And then from here, lift up onto the knees and take your knees into underneath your hips. Wrists are underneath your shoulders. You find length in the spine, look out in front. Inhale and exhale, drop the hips to the right. Inhale, lift. Exhale, drop to the left. Inhale, lift. Last one, exhale to the right. Just go with the breath. If your inhales are not with mine or vice versa, then just go with it. They don't have to be with mine. And then from here, I want you to tuck your toes. Lift the hips into the air for a very casual downward dog. Pedal your feet. Your palms are flat on the mat, almost like you're gripping a basketball. Your feet are hip width apart. And then begin to take both heels into the mat. Think about pressing the mat away from you with your hands, finding length in the spine. Keep your knees bent if you like. And then start to shake your head yes and no. And from here, I want you to lift up high on the tiptoes and then back down. So you're going to inhale the lift. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift the left heel behind the hip. And exhale on the ball of the left foot. Just try to bring the knee to nose and swoop back into single leg dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, swoop, heel down, toe up. One more time. Lift and exhale, lower the right leg. Take your knees to the mat and heels to your hips. You can take your forehead to the mat, hands behind your hips, just resting the wrist a little bit. Continue your deep breaths, focusing on that breath. So when we're bringing knee to nose, again, thinking of that as a moving meditation. Focus on the breath or your intention. All right, begin to take the hands back out. We're going to make our way back into downward dog. So from the downward dog, root through the right heel, palms are still flat, and just gently lift the left heel up. Now notice my leg is not open wide. It's just down right behind the hip point. We're going to go through downward dog this week. And you want your foot flexed, hips even. And come back up on the toe. Exhale, bringing knee to nose. And inhale, lift twice more. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, lift. Last one. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, lift. Bring the left leg down. Find one more strong downward dog. Inhale, lift the right heel. Exhale, pull the right foot through between your thumbs. Make sure your knee is stacked over your ankle before you go anywhere with this. And where we're going right now is we're just going to drop the back knee. All right. If you need to put a blanket or roll up your mat to give you more cushioning underneath that knee, go ahead and do so. But from here, since your knee is over your ankle, remember bone on bone is what we work on in Yoga 101. You're going to inhale, arms overhead, but we're not sinking into it. We're engaged, right? I think I called it dumping Yoga 101. And you can take the arms overhead, tight shoulders. Again, you go cactus arms. So you're engaged, your legs are working, your core is zipped in tight. Two more breaths here. So inhale, take the arms overhead. Exhale, frame the foot with your hands, lift the back knee for a low lunge. So on this one, we're focusing on length. On all of them, we're focusing on length. But notice you're trying to get the crown of your head to one end of the room, the heel to the other end. And notice the difference between this, watch my hips, and this. This is lifted, right? Push through the back heel, keep lifted, adjust as you need to. That's it. Drop the back knee, plant the hands firmly, and come back into downward dog or wide leg child's pose. Knees open, heels together, toes together. Begin to draw your hands back underneath your shoulders. If you are not in downward dog, go to downward dog now. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, pull the left leg through between the thumbs. Plant the knee over the ankle, then drop the back leg. Inhale, sweeping arms overhead. Now, again, watch the engagement in the left glute. Hips are forward, but not sagging. Your back toe can be flat or tucked. I find with it being tucked, it gives me more stability in my right glute or the back leg glute. 3 breaths here, add your own breath, and then meet me in downward dog. Don't forget the low lunge. If you want to keep the knee on the ground, you're more than welcome to. But remember, we're still lifted. Gaze is out. Find your length. Plant the hands. Lift the leg back up and downward dog. Pedal out the feet, bending and straightening the knees. Go ahead and take a look at your heels. Make sure you can't see them, and then take the gaze up to your knees or even past your knees. Settle back into your downward dog. Inhale, lift the right leg. Notice again, hips are square, not opened up, just square. Pull the right leg through between your thumbs. This time, come all the way up into high crescent lunge. Standing tall. So here's what I want to do. I want to inhale. I told you I'm trying to find compassion. So I'm going to inhale compassion. I'm going to exhale, push this big boulder of ego away from me. Inhale, finding that compassion. Inhale, finding length on the last one. Interlocking the fingers, rolling the shoulders back. Stay in your high lunge for a moment because I want to talk about the back here. You have 108 energy points on the back of your heart. So one common thing I see people doing in yoga is squeezing their back to open up the chest. But really, we need to keep that back open to keep the energy points on the heart open. So with that in mind, stay lifted, engaged, right knee over right ankle. Inhale, finding length, pushing through the left heel. Exhale, forward fold over the right leg. Gaze is out. The back of the heart is still wide open. Think about snugging the inner thighs in towards the middle of your body. Root through the right foot. Inhale to lift up. And exhale, just drop the hands, coming into downward dog. We're going to inhale, lift the right leg again. And exhale, bring the right knee through towards the right wrist. So coming into this nice pigeon. Oh my Lord, I'm sore. Oh my goodness. Okay. So stay lifted. You want to equalize the weight on both feet. Look back at your toe. Make sure it's not sickled and pulling in, or your foot. It's nice and flat. Inhale, finally. Exhale, forward fold. Twice more. Inhale, rolling up to finally. Exhale, forward fold. Focusing on the breath and your intention. On your last exhale, feel free to go down as low as you want and stay there for a few breaths. Gaze is out, back is flat. Collarbones are broad. Okay, we got a creeper. All right, another couple breaths here. Nice and slow, velvety soft. Hands underneath the shoulders, lift up, and then you can take it back into tabletop or downward dog. So inhale, lift the left heel. Exhale, pull it through in between your hands. If you can't do this, guys, lift your hip and use your hands to pull your foot through. Knee is over ankle. Use the power of the left glute to lift up. Draw the inner thighs towards each other. You have to go there. Okay. Can do it quickly. There you go. All right, you guys. So same thing. Inhale, bring it in. Exhale, press away. Inhale, lift, getting right back into the moment. Exhale, and pressing that eagle away. Inhale, lift. Exhale, press away. Inhale, lift. Hands interlock behind the back. Heart is open. Exhale, forward fold. Keeping lifted out of the glute. You can lift the chin or drop the head. It's up to you. Pushing through your back heels still. Focusing on your breath. Inhale, lift up. Unlock the fingers. And exhale, come back into downward dog. Inhale, lift the left heel. Exhale, bring the left knee to left wrist. So what you want to do here, you guys, now that I've seen it on one side, some people are going to have their knee really close, or their ankle really close into their hip, and other people are going to have it out closer to parallel to the mat. Having it closer to parallel to the mat, the edge of your mat, is definitely harder. I don't see many people that can do that, actually. So just keep the weight equalized on both hips. Inhale, finding your length. So really right here, you guys, you're doing a heart opener, okay? And even in these heart openers, again, we're not scrunching the back. We're finding a length in the back, length from east to west in the shoulders. Inhale, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll up. Head is the last thing to come up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, forward fold. Last one. Hang out here if you'd like. You're going to feel heat in the left glute, maybe the left inner thigh. Grab a pillow if you want to lay on that pillow here. Stay lifted. And you'll notice one side is different than the other, so do not be hard on yourself with that. Everybody's like that. Look at you, babe. You got it. Can you see yourself in that camera? Okay, good. Okay, I want you to move so that they can see my hair. Okay, can you move to the side a little bit, please? And then begin to draw the wrists underneath the shoulders. Oh yeah, coming back into your downward dog. Open your feet up really wide, and start to walk the hands underneath the hips. You have a couple options here. I'm going to show you this. This is an amazing one. You go as wide as you can go, all right? This is between you and your body. So turn your toes in just slightly if you want a little bit more on the outside of the legs here. So we are going to come back up. Just take the hands to the hips if you haven't come up already. Engage the glutes and lift up. There you go. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, everything out of the lungs. Forward fold. grabbing the big toes. You can bend the knees slightly here. Dropping the head. A couple breaths. Shake your head yes and no. Bend the knees. Start to heel toe your feet back in towards each other. That's it. You got it, Axel. And let's come into a forward fold. So I see a lot of times a forward fold, people really cringing at the hips to get deep into it. But I want you to think about lifting and lengthening through the back of the hamstrings. And so don't go as low if you can't. If you feel that cringing in the hips, find length in your spine. Feet are just comfortably apart. Drop the head in a true forward fold with a long spine. Feeling good. All right, here we go, guys. Bend the knees and come forward on these. Coming to a comfortable seated position. I got a little warm. Did you guys get warm? So a comfortable seated position means something different for everybody. And if that means you being in a chair, go ahead and grab a chair. We're going to do just a little bit of breathing right now. So I want us to think about the lessons that we learned throughout the week and how Pam was talking about feel the belly lift, the chest lift, and the collarbones broaden. And so as we do that, I want to take our hands into this mudra. So we'll go over that later. So just take one hand on top of the other. Place it right here down towards your core, all right? And then you're comfortably seated, right? So, but I don't want you to be hunched over. Keep everything in line, keep the chakras in line. And as we inhale, we're going to inhale, and we're going to feel the hands and the energy just come up, 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 all the way to the collarbones. Last inhale at the very top. Giving gratitude and thanks to the world. And exhale, just a small forward fold. Let's do that again. Close your eyes. Inhale. And exhale, forward fold. Let's inhale with a pause at the very top. Inhale it. Hold the breath for 2 seconds. Exhale, forward fold. Walk the hands back in, come into a comfortable seated position. And take the right ear to the right shoulder. And left ear to left shoulder. And lift up, head over shoulders. Do a couple shoulder rolls, you guys. Bring your hands to heart center. So as your day goes on and it gets busy, even on the weekends, continue to stay focused on your breath. Continue to think about your intention throughout the day. Be aware of that intention and what you're trying to learn from it. And take whatever you found on your mat out there in the real world with you today. Thank you so much for being here. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste, Axel. Thank you. Ashley, are you still on?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Were you able to follow okay?
Yep, and I could hear you the whole time.
Wonderful, wonderful. What did you think about the flow?
I liked it.
You have some yoga experience, correct?
Yeah, I have some, not a whole lot, but I have
Okay.
some.
Well, do you have any questions about the flow?
No, none that I can think of right now.
Okay.
It's dark in this room.
It is. That's okay. I can hear you. Well, if you do, let me know. I'm going to post this in just a few minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Bye, girl. Have a wonderful weekend.
You too.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.